Hello everyone, I'm going to give my NFL season predictions now. Everyone's excited for the NFL season, as am I. So let's begin. I'm going to start with the AFC East first. In first place I have the New England Patriots, second the Miami Dolphins, third Buffalo Bills, fourth New York Jets. And the reason why I have them in this order, well, the division is weak. New England is the clear favorite, and no one really is debating that. They have the best talent. Miami second place. Everyone feels Ryan Tannehill will get better. I do included. I feel they're in the 7-9, 8-8 range. Maybe Mike Wallace makes that team a little bit better on offense. Buffalo has a bad quarterback situation. EJ Manuel hopefully can be that guy for them, but defensively they're not very good. 4 to 6 wins for them would be a good year. Third place AFC East. New York Jets are really bad. Bad quarterback situation. Expect them to be between 2 and 4 wins this year. AFC North. First place I have the Bengals. Second I have the Baltimore Ravens. Third I have the Pittsburgh Steelers. Fourth I have the Cleveland Browns. And Cincinnati is the favorite in this division in a kind of tough division. It's not bad, but it's not great. Cleveland, let's start with Cleveland on the bottom side. They're improving. They have a new coaching staff there with Judzinski as head coach. Brandon Weeden will probably be a little bit better. I expect them to be, I'd say, more than 6 wins. 6 or more wins. Pittsburgh, everyone's thinking they're on the downfall. Oh, I don't think they're on the downfall. I just don't think they're playoff material this year. I feel they'll be in third place in the AFC North. 8 to 10 wins is likely, but some things tell me they're in the 7 to 8 range. Big Ben Roethlisberger only has so much. They lost Mike Wallace in the offseason. Heath Miller is coming back from a big injury. They have no running game. I feel third place for Pittsburgh in the AFC North is appropriate. The Baltimore Ravens, second place. They did lose a lot of talent last year. Cincinnati got better, so I've slotted them in second place. And then first place, Cincinnati. Their defense is ferocious. Their offense, I think, got better, especially with drafting Giovanni Bernard at running back. The Cincinnati Bengals look like they're poised to win this division and make maybe a mini playoff run, especially with that great defense. The AFC South, I have Houston first, Indianapolis second, Tennessee third, and Jacksonville fourth. And Houston first is no surprise. They have won the division. They won it last year. They're poised to win it again. It's time for them to put all their talent together and make a deep run in the playoffs. Matt Schaub is a good quarterback. Andre Johnson, they added DeAndre Hopkins from the draft in the offseason. Their defense, Brian Cushing's back. They've all recovered from their injuries. Houston win division. In a close second, though, Indianapolis. They're going to be improved even more than last year. I don't know about win total, but they'll be a better team. Andrew Luck is getting better each day. Some guys have sophomore slumps, like I've said before. He will not have one. The running game should be better with Ahmad Bradshaw. Second place for the Colts. Tennessee in third. Well, I don't think they're going to be a bad team. I just don't think they're better than the other two teams in the division, mostly because of quarterback play. Jay Clocker is a solid quarterback, but he's not really in terms of the good to elite quarterbacks. Their defense is suspect. They'll need a big year from Chris Johnson to compete in this division. We'll see what he has, though. And then Jacksonville in fourth place. No surprise to anyone. They're going to struggle all year. Blaine Gabbert is on the hot seat as he's been. They really need to get things going there in Jacksonville. Bad defense, bad offense. Could be a long year for them. And then in the AFC West, I have Denver first, Kansas City second, San Diego third, Oakland fourth. Denver first, also no surprise to anyone. The AFC is actually pretty clear cut. The Broncos, Peyton Manning, Demaryius Thomas, Wes Welker, Eric Decker. Very good offense. Drafted Monty Ball. They should be explosive and score a lot of points. The defensive side, Von Miller is suspended. Bailey's been banged up. Their defense, I don't think will be as good as it was last year, but in the really weak AFC West, they should get it done. The Kansas City Chiefs, they're going to be a lot better. I think they're in the 8-win range for sure. Alex Smith will make them better. He is a very good game manager, solid quarterback. Andy Reid brings in his system and it works well, especially with Jamal Charles. San Diego, I feel Philip Rivers is on the downside of his career. While I do think their defense has improved, I don't think it's going to help their offensive faulties. And the thing with Rivers too on offense is they don't really have any weapons. Ever since Vincent Jackson left, Antonio Gates getting older. San Diego has not been the same. Oakland in 4th, Terrell Pryor quarterback. Won't help much. It might help him make a few big plays, win a couple games, but that's it. The worst offensive line in football, the worst defensive line in football. Their defense is very bad. I expect a lot of blowouts in Oakland this year, not favoring the Raiders. On the NFC East side of so we're going to switch shifting to the NFC. So NFC East, the Washington Redskins, I have in first place. Second place, Dallas Cowboys. Third, Philadelphia Eagles. Fourth, New York Giants. Washington, I think, builds off their success from last year. RG3 continues to improve bit by bit. Alfred Morris, good stable running back. Pierre Garcon, not injured anymore. Fred Davis, a tight end, going to help out RG3 as well. Washington Solid, their defense is going to be a lot better too. I feel Washington it's time for them to maybe make a mini playoff run. Dallas, second place. Tony Romo and Des Bryant have a very good year. I think second place is not out of the realm again for the Cowboys. Their defense, I think, will be better, just not as good as Washington's. Unfortunately, if they come in second place and don't make the playoffs, then Jason Garrett will be gone. That might be the case in Dallas, and that's what I think happens. Third place, Philadelphia Eagles. Chip Kelly's offense actually is very effective. Michael Vick plays well. The thing that lapses for them, though, is their defense. They can't stop anyone, especially in the brutal NFC East. I feel they will start well, but then end kind of slow and bad, just because as winter approaches, that offense is going to be harder for them to keep up beat. And then the Giants I have in fourth. Eli Manning has a shaky year. The running game is kind of in shambles since Brown went out. They lost Bradshaw in free agency. I think the Giants take a step back, although they won't be bad. I think 7 to 8 wins. That's the thing about the NFC East. I think it'll be close within the last 2-3 weeks of the season, but then again, I think Washington will come out on top of it. The NFC North, I have a surprise here. I have the Bears number 1, Packers number 2, Minnesota Vikings number 3, Detroit Lions number 4. The reason why I have Chicago number 1 is I absolutely love Mark Trestman. I think he's the perfect fit in Chicago. Matt Forte has a phenomenal year. Jay Cutler becomes the quarterback that everyone thinks he will. Their offense is nice and crisp. Their defense doesn't take as big as a step back as people have thought, since Lovey obviously is not the coach anymore. I think the Chicago Bears take that division. 11 to 13 wins possible for them. I would say 12, though, is definitely a good possibility with them. Green Bay in a close second. I think they will be pretty good this year again. Aaron Rodgers, Jordy Nelson, Jermichael Finley. They got all the weapons in the world. Eddie Lacy helps them, not really in the running game, but especially in the goal line situations. They actually might be taking some touchdowns away from Rodgers. On defense, I don't know if they've gotten any better. The thing with them is they got to have their players on the field. As long as Clay Matthews, AJ Hawk are not hurt, I think they can be very effective on defense. The time will tell with them, but 11 to 13 wins definitely possible with them. I just think the Bears squeak them out in the end. NFC South, Minnesota Vikings. Skipping the last half of the division. Minnesota Vikings, I feel, are not going to be as good as last year. I don't think Adrian Peterson has the type of I'm going to carry the team to the playoffs year. I still think they'll be solid in the 8-win range. Christian Ponder, we see this. I think we'll see this year that he is not the quarterback for the future in Minnesota. Matt Castle kind of pushes him, maybe even by the end of the year starts in Minnesota. The Detroit Lions, their offense is great. Reggie Bush, Calvin Johnson Jr., Matt Stafford. The problem with them is, again, this year I think will be turnovers and their defense. Although I think they'll get a more successful pass rush, I don't think they'll be able to stop anyone, especially in the high-powered offenses of the NFC North. I think last place for them in the NFC North is what they'll be. I think anywhere between 6 and 8 wins is what the Lions will be this year. Now I'll get to the NFC South. First I have the New Orleans Saints, second Atlanta Falcons, third Carolina Panthers, fourth Tampa Bay Bucks. First, New Orleans Saints, I feel Sean Payton coming back is going to help the Saints so much. Their offense is, especially in preseason, looked very, very crisp. They're going to look really, really good this year. Their defense, I think, will be a little bit better. They have Rob Ryan as their defensive coordinator. I'm not going to say it's be great, but it'll be respectable for how much points the Saints put up. Atlanta in second place. They still have a very good year. I think anywhere between 10 and 12 wins is in the realm for them. I just don't think they'll be as good as the Saints this year. They have some questions on defense. Their offense, of course, will be really, really good, especially adding Steven Jackson. And then, of course, talking Tony Gonzalez out of retirement. Third place, Carolina Panthers. Cam Newton kind of looks shaky this year. He doesn't really improve as much as he should for next year. I think the running game's going to struggle. Offensive line will be decent. On the defense side of the ball, I do think the Panthers will be better, especially what they got Luke Kuechly, who's the best up-and-coming linebacker in the NFL. But all in all, they're still not as good as New Orleans and Atlanta in this division. Tampa Bay last place. I think Josh Freeman won't have a very good year. This will be his year out, and probably the whole coaching staff too there in Tampa Bay. Darrelle Revis does make a difference on defense, but not enough to make up for their pass rushing deficiencies. I think Tampa Bay goes probably in the 6 to 8 range. NFC West then, I have the first San Francisco 49ers, second Seattle Seahawks, third St. Louis Rams, and fourth Arizona Cardinals. Let's start off with San Francisco. They build off last year. Colin Kaepernick becomes a better thrower. He doesn't run the option read as much. He still does, but not as much. And he becomes a better thrower out of the pocket. They just run the ball all season long and play great defense. 12 to 14 wins is in the realm for San Francisco. Seattle, they're kind of in the same boat. I just don't think their offense is as good as San Francisco. I don't think they'll be able to score as many points as them. But I do think Russell Wilson becomes better. I love the running backs, Marshawn Lynch, and they're drafting Michael, extremely fast, especially in the preseason. That was great to watch him. The corners are phenomenal. They have the best secondary in the NFL. Percy Harvin injury hurts them, though, especially record-wise. I think this Seattle Seahawks will be probably, I would say 12 to 13 range. I think that's what, I would say 11 to 13 range for them. St. Louis in third place. I do think they get better, especially in offense. Still not enough weapons, though, will be the demeanor and the factor for the St. Louis Rams. Tavon Austin, that's it. That's all they got. Steven Jackson was lost from last year. Their defense is going to be good. Again, Jeff Fisher knows how to coach a defense. They'll be very good there. Problem with St. Louis is very tough division. Last place in the NFC West is Arizona Cardinals. I think they're going to be a lot better this year, especially in offense with Carson Palmer and Larry Fitzgerald. The problem with them is they're playing in a very tough division where it's tough to score points and you have to run the ball. I don't think the Cardinals will be able to run the ball and control the clock like the rest of the NFC West does. That's why I have them in last place. So now I'm going to do the playoff scenarios. In the AFC East, you had your 4 division winners, the Patriots, the Bengals, the Texans, and the Broncos. The wild card winners I have are the Baltimore Ravens and the Indianapolis Colts. And I think the AFC champion will be the Houston Texans. I think they take that next step. Every time NFL teams to get to the Super Bowl, they kind of have to take steps to get there. The Houston Texans have done that by making the playoffs the past couple of years. I think it's their time to get into the Super Bowl. On the NFC side, you have your 4 division winners, Washington, Chicago, New Orleans, San Francisco. My 2 wild card winners are Green Bay and Atlanta. And I think the team that comes out of the NFC is going to be a big surprise. I think the Chicago Bears come out of the NFC. I think they make huge strides on their offense. Their defense is a lot better. And they kind of been at the cusp of making the playoffs or making the playoffs. I think it's their time to come out of the NFC. Everyone's saying San Francisco and Seattle. I think Chicago will be able to move the ball against those defenses because their short, quick passing game. Plus, they have Matt Forte to kind of draw up the pass rush. And in the Super Bowl, the Bears between Houston. I have Houston. Like I stated previously, I think this is their year. And I think they're going to win the Super Bowl. Thank you guys for watching my predictions. And let's have a great NFL season.
Anything goes, anything goes. You never know what we're gonna show on Anything Goes.